What's up, everybody? Big Herc916, and you tuned into another edition of my vlog. I want to say thank you for subscribing. Thanks for all the support. You know I'm all about that positivity and that motivation. Also, subscribe to my Patreon. Over there, I could be raw and uncut and give it to you guys uncensored with the freaky tales. And this is going out to one of the fans who asked for advice as a young male getting ready to go to college, 18 years young, and just dealing with culture as a young male, and trying to stake your claim in the world. Now, I try to put together as many videos as possible, giving you guys insight and information on just my life experiences. Everybody's life is going to be different. You know, if you grew up in a two-parent household, you've experienced something totally different than what I experienced as far as having a father figure. If you played high school sports, your experience can be different than the next person. If you participate in other school activities, I mean, there's a lot of different variables in there, and depending on what neighborhood you grew up in, where you grew up at, culturally, it's just a lot of variables that makes everybody's experience different. But at the end of the day, you have to make the choices which are going to define you for the rest of your life. And the most important thing is not to make the wrong choice that can send you down a path of just despair, destruction, negativity, and just darkness. And then trying to climb back out of that, man. It's easier not to fall into the hole than to try to climb out of it. And I'm always transparent with you guys. I don't try to pretend that I'm a saint. And some people say, well, how can you give advice when you've done all these different things? Well, one of the reasons I can share my stories is because I've lived life. I've done a lot of the things that people have talked about. I've lived it, and I'm honest about it. I don't try to pretend to be a saint. A lot of people who try to tell you stuff, they've never even been in a situation relative to what they're talking about, so how do they know? So, I just try to speak from the heart, because I didn't have anybody speaking to the heart from me, in a sense that as a male, there comes a time where you need another male to lace you up. Single moms out there trying to do it by themselves, you need a good man who really cares about your child and give them some heartfelt advice. As boys, we want to be tough. We don't want to show fear. We don't want to appear to be scared, but the world could be a scary place. At 18, I was pretty scared, man. I was doing a lot of things that weren't really conducive to where I wanted to go in life, but then again, I was just trying to find my way. I was going to college, I was doing the school thing, but at the same time, I was running the streets, hanging out with people, making bad choices. And it would have been nice to have a older homie or a male role model who was a positive influence, lacing me up. I wish I would have started my business endeavors back then, my entrepreneurial pursuits. I actually tried several businesses when I was in 15, 16, but I didn't have access to a lot of things like you guys have now. You got a smartphone, you could run a corporation from your smartphone. Man, you can do e-commerce, you can do drop shipping, you can buy, sell, trade Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies. You can do so much from your smartphone, as opposed to when I was trying to start my businesses out. I had to get a yellow page, and then I had to go visit a warehouse, and I had to look at samples of shirts. I had to, if I was trying to do music, I had to try to write an address and send my tape into, and it's just a bunch of stuff, man. It wasn't no uploading and shooting a homemade video and trying to get a deal. It was a lot of hoops I had to jump through to do anything. So, of course, I got discouraged. But you guys out there, don't get discouraged. Don't let, the lack of likes or followers or, negative comments be your downfall. Things like that just make you want to persevere that much more. Makes you that much more hungry for success. I mean, I turned my negative experience into drive. Everybody who doubted me, everybody who counted me out, people who pretty much thought I was just, a bad person. My goal was to prove them wrong. My goal was to get out of prison and be the most successful person they've ever known, which would blow them away. I want to let people know that, I didn't give up on myself. So you should never give up on yourself. Never count yourself out. Never let anybody dictate to you who you are. You have to believe in yourself more than anybody else, even when nobody else believes in you. You are the beginning and the end of what your destiny entails. Sometimes you gotta detach from friends. Sometimes you gotta detach from loved ones, because these people are detrimental to your growth. They don't further your spiritual elevation, your mental elevation, or your financial elevation. So they're dead weight. You got to detach from them, and it's tough. Sometimes you think and you look around and you realize that, man, I'm all alone. And yeah, you are all alone to some degree. There might be a few people that really love you, but a lot of people, it's just like, whatever. Nobody's gonna have the passion for your goals and dreams like you have. The drive I have, only I have that drive for my success. Nobody else. They can care less whether or not you succeed at the next level, or you have whatever home or car or travel. They don't care. It's up to you. You have to care. You have to want it. You have to vision it, and that's the only way you're going to get it. But going into a new world, whether it's college or trade school, you just got to pick and choose your friends wisely. Be careful as far as who you decide to sex up in there. Strap up. Don't want to have an accidental child, or catch a disease, or get caught up in some love triangle bullshit. There's no need for it, man. 18, 19, 20, man, enjoy life, man. And try your damnedest not to do stuff because you want to fit in. Do it because you want to do it, man. A lot of times we want to feel that, hey, I'm just like, I'm cool too, so I'm gonna take a hit of this or snort of this, and dude, you might not ever come back from that. That stuff, you don't know what's in it. You don't know if it's laced, or you don't know, man. It's like, that could be a game changer. Fentanyl, it's cut with some other drug, it could be all bad. It's no different than, you saying, hey, you don't need a condom, and you squirt up in that thing, and she's pregnant now, man, and you're just starting life. You gotta really think, man. I know it's hard. I know it's a lot of challenges, and it sounds easy. I mean, when I was 18, man, I didn't know what the hell, man. I didn't want to go to no bullshit 9-to-5 job part-time, then go to college full-time, and then trying to, dude, it's like, you get your paycheck, you look at it, you're like, what the F? And then, you're going to school, and you're trying to hit on girls, and then you're trying to be cool, and, you're trying to figure out what your major is going to be, and your minor, and it's just like life, man. It's like, unless you have certain things laid out for you, it can seem pretty complicated, man. I mean, some people have these things set out for them so that all they got to do is show up, and they walk into a job or position, or they get a payout at the end of their college. But a lot of you guys going to college and school, you get all this debt, man. You get your master's degree in something and it doesn't even pay the bills. You got a master's in psychology and you're working at Starbucks or Sprint, T-Mobile. I mean, what's the point? 200 grand in debt, and you're not making $100 an hour. What's the point? Balance out your time. Look at what you're gonna do. Do the math, man, and see if what you're doing is gonna balance out in the long run to pay off for what you put into it. If you go into debt over 4 years or 6 years for 200 grand, and you're not making 200 grand a year, it's not worth it. It's not worth it, man. I know guys who are auto mechanics, man. Guys who are welders, they're making $100 an hour, and they didn't go to school with all that debt, and they got grants and stuff to get their education. So, you got to pick and choose, man. Don't get caught up in the school drill where you're thinking, oh, everybody else is going, so I got to go, and then you realize that, you still got to go and get a job afterwards unless you have a hookup, and you still got to figure out how you're going to pay off your loans, because those are not going to be, those are not going to be discharged. You still got to pay them. You can't wipe those off your credit. So there's a lot of little things you got to take into consideration. Investing a little bit right now, and maybe some gold, or some up and coming tech stocks, or some cryptocurrencies, and 5-10 years down the line that thing is worth $250,000 or something, man. That's something you want to look at. Or like I say, getting into a trade, man, and starting your own business. Going to school to be an indoctrinated, with a piece of paper to say that you have it, doesn't mean shit, man, when you got somebody else who's got a hard skill and they're making money right now, and they run their own business. Because if you know how to do anything mechanical, you're good with math, and you can do engineering, you can design stuff, man, you should be able to be a millionaire in about 5 to 10 years, easy, because those skills are highly sought after. Anything to do with mathematics, welding, technical stuff, really design stuff, if you're good with any type of AutoCAD, get a job where the demand is high. Do your research and find out what is the most desirable job field and what they pay, and then see if you could realistically live off of that. If you don't feel that you can live off of that, then don't waste your time getting a degree in that. Like I said, the degree in psychology, what does it pay? Is it worth it? You spend all that time majoring in psychology, and what'd you get at the end of the day? Starbucks, Walmart manager. Come on, man. I'm not knocking an education. I'm just saying, pick the right education, pick the right friends. Going from high school to college, man, it's a big jump. It's a whole nother world out there, and I know, like I said, it can be scary, intimidating, but just, if you don't have nobody to talk to, try to find you somebody that you look up to, and ask them questions, and just think before you make a decision. Don't just jump in anything, man. Think, man. Think, don't let yourself get led astray, because there's a lot of pitfalls in life that you can get caught up in. I got caught up in a bunch of dumbass pitfalls, man. And I own up to them. I don't act like I'm better than the next person. I've made mistakes, but I own up to them, and I don't claim to be a victim either. I've moved on, and I'm making moves, but I know it's rough. But all you young men out there, you guys can be successful. You can make it, man. Just be smart in your choices. Big Herc916.